Hey guys, TommyBryson here, and today I'll show you exactly how I make $1,000 in passive income every single month from the stock market, okay? Now, by the way, that's around $12,000 every single year in passive income, money I don't have to actively work for all the time. And 5 years ago, when I found out about the stock market, dividend investing, all this stuff, the first thing I did was basically I wrote down all of my bills. And I was like, okay, how much money do I need to invest to have my dividends pay for my barber, my phone bill, my rent, all of this stuff, right? And the first bill I raised to passive income was my barber. Okay, and I felt so good to get haircuts and basically have them for free. However, it costs a lot of money. So I stopped going to the barber, obviously, and it's basically, hey, you know what? I'm gonna buy some clippers for $30 and basically cut my own hair. And that's what happened, and the rest is history. Obviously, I have like long hair, so I barely cut my hair. But yeah, that's what happened, okay? Now, guys, I post videos every single day, so make sure also subscribe and hit the bell to get notified if you're new here. And top about also destroy the like button. Now, the very first thing is this, guys, okay? Obviously, Tommy, if you make 1K per month in passive income, well, how much money do you have invested in order to make all that money? Well, I'll tell you right now. But one thing I want to say is this, guys, okay? It doesn't matter how much money you have right now. It matters how much you're going to invest right now, step by step, and let it grow with compound interest. So I highly recommend, okay? Write down, just like I did 5 years ago, write down all of your bills, okay? Write them all down and find out how much it costs you per year. And then you want to find exactly, hey, how much money do I need to invest in order to pay for this bill right here? And then it'll tell you, hey, is this bill really worth having, or can I go ahead and cut it out, okay? So for example, let's say, I don't know about you guys, but I used to cut my hair around maybe every 2 weeks. I used to spend around like $20 or whatever, right? So $20 every single, well, let's say weekly, okay? Weekly $20. Now, what is this per year? Well, per year, $20 multiplied by 52 weeks, which is 52 weeks in a year, that's around $1,040 every single year on haircuts. To me, that was crazy. So much money. I was like, no way I'm gonna do this anymore. However, the idea is that if you wanna find out how much money you need to invest to get this much money in passive income, the idea is just divide by your dividend yield in decimals. So for example, if I'm gonna get paid 4%, well, divide it by 0.04. That's 4% in decimals, okay? Now equals, that means I need to have around $26,000 in order to have my passive income pay for my barbershop, okay? My barber, not my barbershop, okay? I did not like that. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna just take like $30 and buy some clippers and cut my own hair. To me, there was just so much money. And by the way, at the time, I was making around like $15 an hour at a job that I actually had. So divided by 15, that was around, for example, 1,733 hours of my time in order to cut my hair for free. I was like, no way, Jose. I cut the bill completely. I'm focused on basically saving for other things and keep growing and growing my income. But that's what I recommend you actually do to find out, is this bill actually worth it? And by the way, if you're bad at math, terrible at it, it's fine. If you want to know, hey, how do I find the decimal, Tommy? The answer is just divide the yield. So if it's 4%, just divide it by 100. It tells you, for example, 0.04. If it's 5% divided by 100, doesn't matter. It's also 0.05, okay? So grab the annual expense for that bill and divide it by the percentage. And it'll tell you exactly how much money you need to have invested in order to pay for that bill with passive income. And it can be a lot of money, so sometimes cut the bill out completely or lower your bill. That's what I would do. Phone bills, lower them. Things you don't need, cut them out completely, okay? Now, here is how much money I actually have invested, guys, okay? So now, guys, here's exactly how much money I have invested in order to make me $1,000 per month. The answer is right now in M1 Finance, I have around 63% of all my money, which is around $232K. On top of that, in other apps, I have around $85K with Robinhood, Sofi. You also have, for example, Vanguard. On top of that, lastly, what is it? Acorns, okay? With 4 apps, I have around $85K in total invested, but I'll show you, okay? That way you know what's actually going on here. Now this right here is my iPhone. Obviously, I move here, it's moving. How do you move this, okay? you move here. Well, I don't know how to move this, but yeah, it's my iPhone. It's the real thing, okay? Here you go. But it's also right here on the side. My phone's in black and white. That way, I don't get distracted that much. But overall, in M1 Finance, I have around $232,000. And by the way, it's showing a 1% gain because basically, I transfer over investments, and right now there's a glitch. And that's why it shows that I'm only up around 1%. In reality, I'm up around 20 to 25%, okay? So keep that in mind. My record is very important to me. Now, guys, right here are my investments, okay? I invest basically in 7 ETFs. On top of that, with Vanguard, I invest into index funds. Basically saying, hey, I'm really a passive investor. And in total, I have invested around $317,000. But overall, I invest into ETFs, for example, like VOO, Vanguard, S&P 500. That will get the US market. On top of that, the international market. On top of that, also small cap market. Also some bonds, corporate, and basically treasury bonds also. Also some real estate, some REITs. And lastly, some emerging markets, okay? Now, overall, I can't go into full detail here, but I do have a full video going into detail on why exactly I invest the way I invest. But overall, I'm looking to have diversification. That way, I don't take on that much risk. That way, when the US is down, my other investments will be up. That way, I'm not always worried about everything. And although I'm young, I still have bonds because basically, I like to be able to sleep okay at night. It's just my preference, is how I work. Now, if you want to copy the exact portfolio I use for investing, I have a link down below to M1 Finance. When you sign up, you get $30. You can invest directly into my portfolio and copy it over. Now, by the way, I recommend you do this, for example, in a Roth IRA, or for example, with your whole 401k as your job. That way, this money grows tax-free for your retirement. That's gonna be awesome, okay? Now, my only retirement account right now is with Vanguard. So this right here is a taxable account because basically, I cannot qualify for a Roth IRA because basically, I make too much money. But if you can qualify for a Roth IRA, is one of the best things ever. Now, Tommy, okay. I understand it. You are a passive investor. That's why you invest the way you invest. However, how is it possible this portfolio right here pays you $8,000 per month? The answer is, in reality, it doesn't. And here's why. Because although, for example, I have $370,000 invested, in reality, my yield is only around 2% in dividends. Okay, so multiply by 0.02, well, that's only around 6K per year. Divided by 12, that's only around $528. So Tommy, are you lying? Is this clickbait? The answer is no. The thing is that basically what I do is I use the 4% withdrawal rule. So basically, I can take out 4% of my portfolio every single year and not run out of money. Now, this rule right here was invented for people that wanted to retire early, but not run out of money. That was the whole deal here. So imagine this, okay? If my portfolio grows by around 8 to 10% a year, but I take out 4%, will I run out of money? The answer is no. So that's why I can afford to go ahead and take out 4% and not just my dividends. That's the core idea right there, okay? Does that make sense? I hope it does, okay? But overall, this way, I don't run out of money. And by the way, in the worst market, this portfolio at the 4% rule should last me still around 33 years. That's how awesome this actually is. But right now, by the way, I don't take out any money. Why? Because basically, I don't need it. So the point is, why not have the money grow and grow and grow and grow? That way, I have more money in the end. That's the overall idea. So overall, now look at this, okay, guys? If I have, again, $370,000 in my portfolio, okay? And I take out, for example, 4%, so multiply by 0.04 every single year, that's around $12,680 per year I can take out and still have my money grow, okay? That's the idea. So divided by 12 per month, I make around $1,056. Now, by the way, if you guys don't know this, I'm actually going to Puerto Rico. So this money right here is enough to pay my rent and pay for my utilities and everything I actually need, except for example, like my gas bill, and on top of that, also, for example, my groceries and so on, okay? But overall, I'm pretty much covered on this side. That's how I'm able to make $1,000 by using the 4% rule. Now, again, this has to be in a balanced portfolio, okay? Because if it's not, you're gonna have a problem. And that's why I invest the way I invest in index funds and also ETFs. Now, by the way, By the end of this year, I'll basically transfer all my investments from all those other platforms over to M1 Finance. That way, it's all in one place, because basically, I love M1 Finance, okay? It's easy to use, it's automatic, and it's basically for long-term investors like me and probably you if you're watching this video right here, and that's why I use M1 Finance. By the way, this is not an ad. I use the platform. If I didn't like it, I will leave, okay? I have no loyalty to any company, but right now, it's one of the best out there, and I love it for that reason. Now, guys, on top of that, though, there is one thing I do want to mention here, okay? All of this plan sounds amazing and great and beautiful. It is not an exact science, okay? So, by the way, guys, if you want to find out how much money you need in a retirement fund to actually retire early or whenever you want to retire, the answer is easy, okay? So, your expenses. Let's say, for example, you spend $40K per year. That's how much you want in passive income, right? So, $40,000 per year. Well, just divide it by, for example, by 4%, 0.04. That way, use the 4% rule, withdraw. So divided by 0.04, that says you need to run $1 million invested. So when you take out 4%, you take out $40,000 per year. But remember though, there are taxes, so keep that in mind. It's not to be tax-free unless it's a Roth IRA or potentially your retirement account you transfer over to your Roth IRA. Keep those things in mind. So although I have $1 million, it might still not be enough. And here's why. Because you basically want to have a safety of margin. Meaning, if things don't go my way and the market drops by a lot, I want to have money in there more than I need. That way, I'm covered. So I recommend you have, for example, at least 20% more or 50% more. That way, you're good to go. Now, remember though, okay, the amount of money you need in expenses, remember, by the time you get to this goal, you should have, for example, your house paid off. Your car is paid off also. You should just buy one for cash, by the way. That way, your expenses are very low. So most likely, you won't need this much money at all to survive. That's not what you need at all, okay? It's probably a lot of fun money here too, okay? But that's the idea. But in my case, okay, my goal is to have around $48,000 in passive income every single year. So divided by 0.04 to get the 4% rule, that's around $1.2 million that I actually need. However, if my house is paid off, my car is paid off in full, I only really need around $25,000 per year. Okay, that's the idea. So in reality, I have a massive safety of margin. So for example, if I have 1.2 million in my portfolio, but then the market drops by 30%, well, in reality, I would still have, for example, multiplied by 0.70, I also have, for example, 840. Now multiplied by 0.04, that still pays me around 33K in passive income. That's the over idea. Does that make sense? That way, you don't run out of money, and when things go wrong, you'll still be okay. Now, the last thing I use to make sure everything's okay here is dollar cost average, okay? Now, that means, hey, I want to make sure, Tommy, I'm not buying way too high when the prices are very high in the market, and then it crashes, I'm going to have to wait a long time to recover. Now, what I do is this, okay? I do dollar cost average. Basically means, hey, I'm going to buy the same amount of money in investments every single month or very frequently. That way, by the end of the year, if you buy it all the time, maybe 12 times a year, maybe like every single week, the answer is going to be, hey, I bought at the average price for the year. That way, I don't take on that much risk. So for example, I buy investments, the same amount of money, every single week, okay? That way, by the end of the year, I bought at the average price of the market. I don't have to worry about basically buying it for too high. And by the way, that's what I recommend M1 Funds, because that way you can set your investments to automatically invest for you into your Roth IRA. And by the way, if you have a 401k, ask your employer to take this money out automatically from you and invest it for you automatically. That's the overall goal. This way, your money grows and grows and grows and grows. Now, lastly, guys, there is one final thing I do want to say here, and it's basically, remember, okay, when you have passive income, it's great. It's awesome, right? However, it doesn't mean you have to stop working. I never plan on stopping working. I love my job. I'm not gonna quit anytime soon, like ever, most likely. But the answer is, yes, you have passive income coming in, right? Like 48,000, 40,000 doesn't matter, right? Passive income is great. However, remember, you will still have a job. So that's still income coming in. So most likely, you won't need as much money as you probably think you actually need. So in reality, if all you need is $20,000, guys, well, divided by 0.04 here, that's around $625,000, okay? Once you get here, the answer is great, passive income, but you still have a job, right? So you still have a lot of income coming in. So it's still good. You're still gonna be just fine. So again, try to pay off your house in full, get a 15-year mortgage, and follow, for example, the 33% rule. It's my rule. Link down below for a video. That way you know exactly what to do. On top of that, try to pay off all your cards, all your debt. That way, all this money is yours. And also, find a job you actually enjoy. That way, you also have that income, okay? That way, if the market crashes, you're still gonna be just fine. But overall, guys, that is it for this video. Comment down below, let me know if it actually helped you in any way. If it did, comment down below, let me know. And if you made it all the way to the end, well, comment down below and say, I made it. That way I know you made it all the way to this point in this video, okay? I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching. As always, like this video on top of that. Also, subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified. And if you guys want to basically join me on my other channels, I have 2 more. Links down below where I also post there every single day. And also follow me on Instagram at TommyBryson right here. TommyBryson on Instagram. That's my only Instagram at TommyBryson. Nothing else. Don't get scammed. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching. And as always,